Welcome to the Really Late or Possibly Early, depending on your time zone show, with your host, Bloomer for the Win. Tonight's show features special guest, TheRealFelkin. After that, you've got PresidioTV and musical guest, TammyBlackMedia. And now your host, Bloomer for the Win.
Welcome to the show, guys. We have another great show for you, the way we so often do. We're going to be starting off with news from Florida. That's right. This week in News from Florida, we had reports of a local man slurring his words after being pulled over for what appeared to be a drinking and driving situation. The officer was pleased to find out that he had not been drinking and driving, but rather was only sipping the bottle of Jim Beam in the front seat when he had already made a full stop at either a red light or a stop sign. The man would have probably gone away with it had he not been trying to convince the officer that having the bottle in the car permitted him to use the carpool lane. After finding that the bourbon was only aged for 4 years, they also laid additional charges for not having a proper child seat installed. South Korea's first dog, Tori, the black mongrel, has become the face of their newest campaign, Not Food, which promotes that dogs are meant for pets and not for snacks. Traditionally a summer delicacy meant to beat the heat, this is a reminder that the next time you're in South Korea, make sure that your chicken nuggets don't have paws. The second part of this campaign involved banning the movie 101 Dalmatians from local all-you-can-eat buffet restaurants. A gas station in San Francisco has hired a robot as a security guard, set to patrol the station. With 4 cameras and rolling at approximately 3 miles per hour, this doubles both the number of eyes as well as running speed of your average security guard. Of course, like all new technologies, the robot is not without its faults. He's already attempted to take gas pump number 4 on a date after he told gas pump number 2 that he was looking for something real. A hiker in BC was killed by a falling tree this past week, sparking up new debates about if a tree falls in the woods and lands on the only person who could hear it, do either make a sound. News from NASA. We'll be seeing the longest total lunar eclipse of the 21st century on July 27, 2018, with the celestial event lasting almost for 4 hours. Sadly, as the event will not be visible in North America, the only full moon Americans will be seeing this Friday is the one out the car window as drunken college kids head downtown to the bars. Luckily, we'll be seeing another similar event in only 6 months. Of course, if you can't wait that long, you can also roll the dice on the plethora of new Craigslist ads for free full moons. This past week, we had World Emoji Day. The day meant to celebrate the death of not just spoken word, but also the end of having to type out entire sentences that can instead be explained in 1 or 2 quick pictures. The Department of Defense surprised the world by releasing a video to commemorate the day. The video in question was bad. Like, really bad. I don't even have a joke. Just go watch it and cringe. Of course, we were not let down by the fact, or we were let down maybe by the fact that there was no announcement for the second Emoji movie, or the Emoji Movie 2, Emojier. According to the latest Big Mac Index, which measures currencies around the world against each other based on the price of the popular McDonald's burger, the US dollar is 30% overvalued. That's right. Take everything you've learned from economics, throw it out the window, and set it up for burgernomics. With that being said, European central banking kiosks are being set up in international airports so that the transcontinental commuters may exchange their leftovers to the corresponding region's currency. With Mayor McCheese now being valued at over $50, Who knew that the Hamburglar was actually just setting up for retirement? Grimace is still valued at $0. Seriously, what's he supposed to be? A purple nugget? Shouldn't eat those, guys. It's not good. Elon Musk has apologized for calling a Thai cave rescuer a pedo. As an exchange between the two over social media heated up, Elon eventually called the cave rescuer a pedo and accused him of not even being there at the cave. Having since found out that he was both a crucial part of the rescue as well as not a pedo, Elon apologized while making sure to acknowledge that the diver had started it. As of now, in a leaked Twitter DM, Elon has challenged the diver to meet him after school by the bike racks. Becky told Elon not to, but now the rescuer has begun to talk smack about Elon's mother and a pineapple. A model has made headlines for breastfeeding her child while walking on the runway. When questioned why, the model replied, "It was take your child to work day, and my husband works for Planned Parenthood." Which should have been a beautiful, empowering moment, the audience was overheard saying how the baby's diaper had a dreadful cut and that the baby was looking a bit pudgy for the runway. Spain has a new sub that is too big for its dock. First, the S-80 had problems floating and now is unable to fit in its own berth. Spain's defense minister, Margarita Robles, pronounced that she had seen this issue of boats not fitting into the dock before and suggested that the captain not try and force it, but spend a few minutes gently maneuvering the sub into the dock while whispering sweet nothings into the dock's ear to loosen it up. The captain was seen spitting onto the dock a few minutes later. Guys, we've got a great show ahead for you. Starting things off, we've got TheRealFelkin. Next up, after that, we've got PresidioTV. Finally, after that, we've got the amazingly talented musical guest, TammyBlackMedia. Guys, we've got lots of show ahead for you. Stick around.
Oh, I didn't see that. Serenia TV coming at you guys. You know, a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Serenia, do you like Monster? Are you sponsored by Monster?" And I say, "I don't know, you know?" Yeah, but I should be.
Welcome back, everyone. Our next guest can be found on twitch.tv/TheRealFelkin.
Articles are nice. Gained title,
Did you?
Chat, give it up for TheRealFelkin.
How's it going?
It's going very well. Falcon, how you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just relaxing with Oscar. He's decided to hang out for the day, so we got a guest star.
Fantastic. Now let's talk about Oscar for a second. How old's Oscar?
That I couldn't tell you. Oscar is my girlfriend's parents' cat.
Okay.
And he they gave him to us for a week to look after while they went on vacation.
Fun.
And that week turned into 2 weeks, and then they finally got home, and they're like, "So, how's Oscar doing?" Like, "Oh, he's good. When are you getting him?" And they're like, "Well, he's yours now. Goodbye."
Wow. So how long have you had Oscar now for?
Probably going on 7-8 months.
Wow. Okay.
Give or take. Yeah.
Yeah. So probably not going to be sending him back anytime soon, eh?
No, he's here to stay. Yeah.
He's part of the fam now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love it. All right, so Falcon, let's talk for a moment. Let's backtrack just a half second here. Yep. And for those that don't know you, I know some of our chat's already gonna know who you are, but for those that don't, what do you stream? What are you all about? Give us the lowdown of who Falcon is.
For the most part, I mean, I've taken up kind of variety streaming. Haven't really found that one the one game that I just want to stick with.
Yeah.
Recently, I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight.
Cool.
And Slay the Spire has been a big one as well. That one's super fun. But for the most part, a buddy of mine, Diploctor, and I do miscellaneous multiplayer games together.
Cool.
So, for example, one of our viewers gifted us both a copy of Ibn Ob, which is this super cute gravity / puzzle-based co-op hellscape puzzle madness. Can't even describe it. It's awesome, but it's infuriating, like Portal co-op infuriating.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool, and yes, we've been touching on kind of like the party multiplayer games, and yeah, it's been the majority of it so far. But
well, I know for a fact the one game I've seen you stream, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and for those that at home that have joined my stream played and have wondered where the heck did Bloomer find this out, I actually found a game from your stream, and that is Marbles on Stream.
Yes, Marbles on Stream. It's that's a big one that I picked up. It's actually in development from a guy that I also went to game development school with.
Cool.
So his name is Mike Lefebvre, and he's the head of Pixel by Pixel Studios.
Yeah.
And they went about figuring out when we were in class together, he spent his time learning how to use the Twitch API and how to link into Twitch chat to get stuff done.
Smart.
And through that, he created a game that the Twitch viewers can play without having to actually do anything, which is a physics-based marble racer called Marbles on Stream.
And it's an incredible game.
Yeah, it's a super simple concept, but it goes for hours and you don't even realize.
Absolutely.
But yeah, they've got like seasonal leaderboards and stuff where they'll give out like $100 Steam gift cards for whoever's on top of the leaderboard at the end of the season and stuff like that. So yeah, for something so simple and so interactive at the same time, it's awesome, and it brings in a huge community. They've got their own Discord server which has like a whole channel dedicated to who is currently hosting marble races, etc. So yeah, you can set up like multi streams, and there's a whole bunch of people doing it. It's pretty cool.
It really is, and it's exactly what you said. It's such an interactive thing, and for someone like yourself who's doing a lot of those party games, and even myself who's trying to get more into that as well, it's the perfect game. It really is. It's a great time. At any time you can be looking away from the screen. You can do whatever you need to do, but at the same time, it's so addictive and fun. And I think what you said, and it's the real truth, is you think you've been playing for an hour. You look over and you realize, oh, it's been 5 hours. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did the day go again?
And it's kind of cool because it's one of those games where, because you don't have to focus on what's actually happening, there's no like MLG micromanagement required.
Yeah.
You really get a chance to interact with your audience more so than with like Dead by Daylight, for example, where you're like, okay, I have to make this skill check and I have to be looking for the killer, and I can't be reading Twitch chat 24/7 because, I might be getting murdered in the next 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But with something like Marbles on Stream, you're able to A, talk to every single person who types in your chat, but B, you also kind of get to work on how you want to develop yourself as a streamer, which is cool because you kind of act as the commentator for what's happening.
Absolutely.
Right? So being able to kind of build that persona of how you want your channel to evolve is super. I guess it's really there in something like Marbles on Stream because that's 90% of what's happening.
Exactly, and that's the thing, is that you're really, and I mean, like yourself, I got to watch your stream playing some Marbles, and like I said, I blatantly ripped the game away from you because it took me a while to find out how to download it, but once I got it, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. But it's exactly that, is that you're really getting to show your personality, and it gives you an opportunity to show, this is why I stand out above the other 4 million people currently streaming, and why you should come check out my channel. So I think you do a great job with it as well, side note.
Thank you.
So you're very welcome. Now, from there, I gotta talk because you are doing variety gaming. Have you? And you said that you haven't found that one that you really want to stick with. But is there a game that either A, you've streamed that you go, this game I think is something that I would really like to lean into, or even off stream? Is there a game that you either play or have played that you go, this is what video gaming is about. This is the game for me.
Well, it's tough because one of my biggest like time sinks for games is Overwatch.
Yeah.
But Overwatch on Twitch is kind of like finding a needle in a haystack when there's 4,000 active channels and the top 5% of the channels control 98% of the views.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever used something like Twitch Strike before, but it gives you like hour by hour ratings on whatever games are in your Steam library, and it shows how many channels are active and how many of the views the top 5% control.
Okay, wow.
And Overwatch is constantly at the bottom of the what you should stream list because of the fact that there's 2,000 active channels at any given time.
Yeah.
So unless you have that like minimum 300, 400, 500 person views, you're not even going to be in the like top 30 pages.
Wow. Yeah. And as someone who just started to get back into Overwatch, I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because like I'm a pretty decent Overwatch player. Like I'm a high diamond support main.
Cool.
And it's super fun to play, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And like my rig isn't the best, but Overwatch streams really smoothly, which is great for me.
Awesome.
But it's just it doesn't act as a good medium to portray
it's not necessarily
what the channel's
the
about.
best catalyst, because, and I've talked to a ton of streamers about this in the past too, is that you can have the best content on Twitch. You can be the funniest person. You can be laying jokes left, right, and center that everyone is dying in chat. But if you have 2 viewers in chat, you still only have 2 viewers in chat. So
exactly, and that's the curse of Overwatch.
And absolutely, I can understand that. So Overwatch, obviously, like you said, is a bit more of an off-stream game. Is there anything that's been on stream, something that you've really enjoyed?
Well, I mean, we're going to go back to Marbles, but I think the most fun I've had is with Marbles on stream. Yeah. Mostly because it practically doubled my viewer count.
Okay.
And like I said, you really get to be more interactive with people.
Yeah, sure.
And that's always been super fun. Okay. But I do want to touch on one other off-stream game, which is I picked up Middle-earth: Shadow of War when it went on sale on the Steam sale.
Nice.
Oh my god, it is fantastic.
You're loving it, eh?
Yeah, it's I mean, let's see, Shadow of War, 76 hours played so far, and I picked it up like last week.
Nice. Nice. So what is it about that game that's drawing you in so much?
It's the whole Nemesis system, because I mean, I've got a background in game development, and the way that they did their Nemesis system is really, really cool to begin with. And there's also just a whole bunch of uncontrollable interactions that will happen. So for instance, one of my favorite orcs is his name was, I forget what his title used to be, but it used to be like Gladiator Master or something.
Okay.
So I went to go fight him, and when you encounter an orc that is a higher level than you, instead of being able to dominate him, you can shame him instead, and this reduces his level and sends him running, and you have to fight him again. So I shamed him once, and he was still 1 level too high for me to tame. So I went and I hunted him down again, and I beat the snot out of him, and I shamed him a second time, but the shame procced that kind of 1% chance to instead turn them into a dangerous maniac instead of making them flee in terror. But he also basically lost his mind. His title went from Gladiator Master to The Ruined, and now instead of speaking in proper sentences, he just laughs at everything, and his eyes are kind of droopy now, and he's basically like a potato with a poison greatsword, and he's amazing. Wow. He's so funny. So like we get into combat with this next orc, and all of my other generals are like, doing their speech to rally their troops, and then the camera pans over to this guy, and he blinks for a couple seconds, and then just and that's it, and that's all he can say, and he's amazing. It's so good. So
too funny.
Yeah, it's just little things like that you don't expect to happen that do, that
and it
keep
really
it fresh.
immerses you into the game.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Awesome. Now, you touched on it a couple times, but you said, sorry, that you have a background in game development.
Yeah.
So is there any plans in the future that Felkin is going to be having, Felkin Incorporated games or any, like, do you have anything that anyone has an opportunity to play, or what's the situation
not yet.
there?
So I do have a company called Protoplasm Studios.
Okay.
That it's a small independent company where we're working on a couple different titles right now, but they're very long ways away from being playable or even close to finished.
Okay.
But yeah, in the next couple of years, we might see something coming out.
Very cool. Listen, it's not something that takes a week and a half of like, okay, I'm really gonna
Yeah,
focus
that's for
down
sure.
and make this game. No, it makes a lot of sense. But that's very cool. That's something that I always thought would be a very interesting career path to go down. And I'm not a computer guy. Like, I wish I was, because I stream, I do
Yeah.
all this. Like, I'm not like completely terrible at it, but I'm pretty bad with computers. At the end of the day, there's a lot of Google foo going on, and a lot of me messaging people going, so what does this mean again? And do I have to register that? And
80% of programming is Googling how someone else has done it better.
so
and learning
I'm
from that.
basically already a pro, is what you're telling me.
Exactly. Yeah. You might as well just take over the senior programmer position at Blizzard.
University degree check mark. Like, why not?
And Google, yes.
Yeah, I can Google. I know how to Google. Not well,
Exactly.
but
Google
how
is the
do
best.
I do this? So let's switch gears again. Let's talk going back to your Twitch channel. Now, how long ago did you start on Twitch? What got you started on Twitch? Let's talk about that.
Oh, so this channel has actually been active since, let me see. The first clip was probably 2015.
Wow, okay.
Because I'm actually not sure on this one. I have to double check that.
Okay.
But I started a long time ago when I was really big into League of Legends.
Cool.
So let's see. This is, oh, I lied. The first video I have saved is July 12th, 2013.
Wow, okay. Holy
And
smokes.
that's, yeah.
5 years now.
So yeah, we've got clips from 2013, 2014, and then, I streamed for about 2 hours in 2015 when I picked up Halo.
Okay.
And I streamed a little bit of The Division solely to capture the guys who were hacking in the Dark Zone.
Okay.
And then I really just got back into it at kind of midway through 2018.
Okay.
So the channel itself is relatively old, but I didn't really get fully immersed into the idea of streaming more often than just an hour a week kind of thing until early in 2018.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's neat is that you probably had a little bit, we'll say a little bit of an audience growing up into that 2018, and now that you're hitting the ground running, you probably had to more or less start all over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like I came back to the channel with probably 78 followers or something,
Okay.
and I haven't seen a single one of them. I'm pretty sure they all have the notifications turned off now, because I think Twitch automatically turns off notifications if you haven't checked out a channel in a year.
Okay.
Because my buddy sent me a screenshot from his phone. He got an email from Twitch saying, "Hey, you haven't looked at the Real Falcons channel in like a year and a half. We're
Yeah.
gonna automatically disable notifications for when they go live." And he's like, "I'm so sorry, I never tuned in." So that's something I learned about Twitch. is
Feels
that,
bad, man. Feels bad.
yeah,
man.
exactly. But I mean, since picking it up again, I've let's see, I think I was at 78 viewers or 78 followers before, and now I'm at 150.
Well, there you go.
So
in just a short amount of time, you've already doubled what you had done in 5
exactly.
years, basically. Which really shows, and I talk about this a lot with newer streamers and people that are just kind of getting into the ground running, and that's consistent. If you can be consistent, obviously, if you're having a really bad day and you have no energy, maybe don't turn on the camera. But if you can be consistent streaming, whether it's 2 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week, I don't care what your number is, do it, because that's where you're going to see growth, and that's how you're going to move up the viewer numbers, and thusly be likely to be found by more people,
hierarchy.
and thusly be able to expand your community a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of tough for me to maintain a proper schedule at the moment due to the fact that my career is working as a cook
Yeah.
right now.
And that's
so
a very busy job.
kitchen hours are A, sporadic, and B, long.
Yeah.
So I can't really say, okay, my days are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because week to week my schedule will change, whether it's mornings or nights or whatever.
Yeah, no, I totally can understand that. It's been a long time since I worked in a kitchen, but I guess at 16, 17, I worked in a kitchen, and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember I still wake up in the cold sweats and nightmares from being a dishwasher at a kitchen. So
Yeah, it's not fun.
it's difficult. It's difficult. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's paying the bills, and that's what matters, right? At the end of the
Yeah,
day.
and I mean, like I went to school the first time for culinary arts and management.
Okay.
So
cool.
I have a background in culinary already, and
Awesome.
then I actually broke my spine working in a kitchen.
Holy
I was like,
smokes.
I am never working in a kitchen again. It's the worst place on earth. And I went back to school. There's no jobs available in the current market. So I was like, well, looks like I'm back in a kitchen.
So that's a story right there. How did you break your spine in a kitchen? What the heck? Did
Well,
you do?
the walk-in fridge lit on fire, and there was a nursing litter of puppies in there, so I had to
Oh,
run in and
no.
carry them, and a beam landed on. No, I was picking up.
I'm like, you're the most noble person I've ever met, Felkin. Guys, everyone sub to this man right now. Okay, now the real story.
Yeah, wait. I should have just kept going. The real story, however, is it was during a kitchen rush,
Okay.
and they had a garbage bin of nacho chips,
Oh.
and I lifted and twisted the wrong way, and my
jeez.
disc in my back split in half.
Wow.
I was
Fun.
defeated by a garbage bin of nacho chips.
And you know who thought that nachos weren't good for you? This is the proof.
Right?
here.
They they always come across as something so good.
Yeah.
You get them as a nice snack, a nice full dinner if you get a good place.
You're like, what did I ever do to you, nachos?
I know, I've only ever loved you. Here you are breaking my back.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
another thing I have to bring up, because I've seen you, like, you've raised your arms a few times. I see all the tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes.
I've done it a lot.
You're basically Felkin the tattoo man. Let's talk about that for a moment. How many tattoos do you have now? Do you know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11?
Holy smokes.
11.
I love when people have to actually, like, when you ask them how many tattoos, that it's like, oh, hold on, let me just count here, and like,
Yeah,
like I feel like that's the number that you would just know off the top of your head. Like, I don't want to brag, guys, but like one is my current number.
Yeah, I kind of lost track at about once this side started with all the animals.
Okay.
Actually 12 because I missed the badger.
So what
yeah.
was your first tattoo then? Out of 12.
First tattoo was, I don't know if I can twist this.
Don't
this
worry if you
X
can't, but
right here.
okay. And
Twist.
no, I can't read that from here. I don't know if Twitch chat can, but
Probably not.
assuming it's appropriate, go ahead and let us know what it says.
Yeah, so it says goals don't complete themselves, and it's written in Hylian from The
okay.
Legend of Zelda.
Cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, and what a great message for, again, any new Twitch streamers as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's one of those things that I got it during my first year of my first degree through college, and I was like, I really have to stop playing WoW until 4 in the morning, and I've got to actually get this diploma. And so I got the tattoo, and I got the diploma shortly after.
But yet your WoW playing continued on the rise. It's
Yeah, that it did. Especially with Battle for Azeroth about to come out.
Oh, man.
I'm getting suckered back into it. I haven't played in ages, but
I'm having a
played it.
lot of people are talking to me about it right now. Excuse me. A lot of people are trying to convince me to play it as well right now, and I'm like, I can't. Oh man. I know when I played, I put in a disgusting number of hours. It was bad.
Yeah. I mean I've had this account since, well, this account has been around since the end of Burning Crusade, but I've played since the second beta of Vanilla,
Wow.
like on and off. So yeah, I've I've definitely put in my fair share of wasted time. That's for sure.
I tell people this story all the time, and I swear to God, it's true. So I played for about a year. I think I played in total for maybe a year and like 3 weeks or something like that.
Mhm.
And it was during Wrath of the Lich King. and I worked overnight security at the time, 12-hour shifts, and I would get there, I'd turn on my laptop, I'd walk around, make sure everything was locked and secured, and, you know, did my job. But then I'd sit down and I'd play. I would play until the beginning, or like the end of my shift. I would, the full 12 hours, and then I'd go home and I'd play more. And I realized at about the 1 year and like 2 week marker of how long I've been playing, someone told me that you can, I think it was like /time, and you could see how long you played on that /played, and you could see how long you played on that character. And on my main tune alone, I had, in just over a year of play, I don't remember the exact, but it was something like 216 days of playtime.
So almost the whole year.
Almost the whole year. And that was just my main. And then I had like 4 other people at level 80. And I was like, oh no. Like,
what have I done?
I legitimately, I think it was like a day later that I actually went and I just put in like canceling, played too much, and left it at that. Because, and I walked away because I was like,
1 day sober of Warcraft Anonymous.
Yeah. It was bad. It was so bad. But anyways, it's because it's so much fun though, right? It's very easy.
It is.
It's
always been pretty good.
Yeah, these games that are just so easy to fall into, and next thing you know, you're playing for however many hours. And anyways, I know those feelings, and I like your Overwatch shirt as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, I figured it was a fitting thing to pop into.
Very appropriate. Very appropriate. Guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. You can find Felkin here at twitch.tv/TheRealFelkin. Felkin, thank you so much for being here today.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was great.
I was very excited to have you here. Guys, stick around. We're coming right back with a whole bunch more show. Don't go anywhere. Did you know that if you take your Amazon Prime and link it to your Twitch account, you can sub to your favorite streamer every 30 days free of charge? Now you do. The more you know. Welcome back to the show, guys. Our next guest, you can find her on twitch.tv/PresidioTV.
Oh, full hours, I'm a sugar ball.
Oh lordy. Oh my god, I'm almost dead.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Damn it, Jay, we need help. Help us! Hurry! Drive really fast, Anna, come over to me. It'll be easier.
Someone has to clip that.
We're fine. We're fine. I'll hug you, Anna. I'll hug you while we die together. Ah!
Okay.
Not bad.
All right.
Guys, give it up for Presidio. Presidio, how you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Presidio, I am a longtime fan now. You are actually, and I exaggerate not, I believe you were the 2nd or 3rd person that I followed on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't think I
absolutely.
knew that, actually.
Yeah, you were, because it was Wow Hobbs hosted you. Hobbs was the first person I was following. Hobbs hosted you, and you and I started to talk as well, became kind of friendly, and even Wow Hobbs was like, oh, that's really great that you're making friends already. That's fantastic.
Hobbsy is the best.
Isn't he? It's
I
so true.
love that guy.
It's absolutely the truth. Now, let's start with the very basics. I know most of chat should know who you are, but in case anyone somehow hasn't found out about Presidio TV yet, who are you and what do you stream?
Well, I'm Presidio TV.
No kidding. Write it down, folks.
I am Presidio TV. My name's Sarah. I do a lot of variety. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just froze and forgot what to say there.
That's all right. There's really no right or wrong answers on what to say. So
I'm sorry. I told Joe I need help with this.
that's okay. That's
You
okay.
didn't believe me.
I still don't believe you because this is to me hilarious and great television. So live TV, everyone. Who needs this cue card? Let's just throw it away and let's start. Let's see what happens. This is going to be madness. All right, let's start with.
I mean, we're done, right? I'm Presidio, and I just do things.
Yeah, you do things and
Yay.
stream, and sometimes people watch you. It's welcome to Twitch, right, folks? No, so let's try and be a little more specific for you then. When we say you stream a few different games, do you have any specific days of the week that you do specific things, or is there anything like that?
It's funny you asked that, actually.
Wow, weird.
Well, Tuesday through Thursday are actually typically my big story games that we're working through week to week until we finish them. So like this
Awesome.
week we've been doing God of War.
Cool.
So every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be doing God of War and jamming that out. And then Friday is Hype Night. And that is something
Fun.
I've had since the very beginning. It's a massive party. Viewer games, drinks, drinking games, shenanigans, fun, hyped up music, lots of laughs, lots of good times. We get very silly. We thoroughly embarrass ourselves. When I say we, me and anyone that chooses to subject themselves to coming onto my channel, having drinks and playing. So that's usually a really good time. And then Saturdays are some movie nights, and Sundays are tea time with press. So I'll usually do little story games that I can knock out in like one Sunday stream and drink a bunch of tea. It's a good time.
Perfect. Very good. Look at that. We're like pros now, you and me. We've been doing this for a while. So my next thought is I gotta talk about the cat ears, because you are, as far as I knew, I'm not saying you were the very first streamer to wear cat ears, but you were the first streamer I ever saw wearing cat ears, and I know many people have tried to copy, to imitate your style. But you are the original, of course. Where'd the cat ears come from? Do you have more than one set? Give us the details.
So I actually had a different set when it first started. They were like left over from an old costume party. They were like these little itty bitty $5 Party City kitty ears, and I was going on to streams early in my stream days. So, you know, I had no one there. I think it was like me and 4 other people, and I had such a bad day, and I was like, God, it's such a bad day, and I'm gonna stream, and I'm all bummed out, and I don't want to be bummed out. And I opened up my closet, and I saw these little cat ears, and I was like, I'm gonna wear those. They make me smile. Maybe they'll at least turn my mood around. Maybe they'll make other people smile. And they were received very well. Everyone really liked them, and I just had such a good time with them. It was such a memorable stream. It was really fun, and I was like, I'm gonna do this again tomorrow. I don't want it just to end at that one stream. I want to do it again. And so I did it again and again and again, and I never wanted to take them off, and it just ended up being a thing until sadly the OG kitty ears snapped in half and broke. I know. I even tried to make do. I wrapped them up with duct tape for a while, and that was great. But so then I got these, although these are on their last life too. I've had these now for like a year and a half, 2 years, and this ear is very floppy. It doesn't stay up anymore. So now I'm in the market for our 3rd set of kitty ears.
Oh my goodness.
Date.
I don't know if you remember. I sent you a link one time. This was a while back now, so you probably won't remember. But they were actually the like a headset, headphones, and they had the kitty ears already, and they would change colors if you press buttons. And I was like, those are Presidio. Those just scream Presidio.
I've seen those before, and I mean they're definitely very cool. I've even seen other streamers use them. I will say I'm kind of a snob when it comes to my headsets, though. Like I just got these blue headsets, and I'm absolutely in love with them.
Awesome.
I mean, you need really, really good sound, especially when you're playing shooters. And also, little known fun fact about the kitty ears. Another reason why I love them so much when I first wore them, and why I kept wearing them, is so when you have the headset, there's actually a gap in certain places. There's like a gap right here. There's a gap on top. Yeah. The headset is a headband, or the kitty ears are a headband, and so they keep the hair in place very nicely. And I really like it. I really like it a lot. They're dual function, so
perfect. And I can't even picture it. Like when I even think of you in like, but I close my eyes and I think of a picture of Presidio, the cat ears are there. So like they really are a part of your look. So
I know. I kind of actually feel weird about them. When I go out in real life, I'm like, man, I wish I was wearing the kitty ears out. I hold my hair back, and I feel kind of naked without them.
So now we know, though, there's more behind the scenes fact for all of us, is that when you go out IRL, you don't always wear your kitty ears.
I should start though. I should just embrace it.
You
Embrace
should.
the kid of your life. You know, get a few weird looks for a while, but eventually I'll become known around town as that cat ear girl. And
Well, and at that point,
roll
you
with
start
it.
asking them when the people say, like, so about the cat ears, you can say, well, have you heard of Amazon Prime? And then you look at them and give them the old ding. And next thing you know, brand new subs.
As soon as they ask, just hand them my card. If
Yeah,
you want to know more, go to this site.
Do this. Do this.
Call
Oh, my
this
goodness.
number.
Now, we'll go from there. I want to talk about, well, the fact that you are a full-time streamer, and you've been a full-time streamer for a while now.
Yeah, a little over 2 years, 2.5, maybe almost 3.
And how long were
been
you were
full-time
streaming a bit
streamer.
before that, you said? Not seriously, though.
No, I mean, so yeah, technically I've been on Twitch for about like 3 years, but I kind of don't count those first 6 months because I was just messing around, figuring things out, you know, learning about it, learning if it's something I wanted to do. I was also actually in a car accident at that time too, so
Wow,
like
okay.
that kind of put the brakes on things, and then got all of that stuff squared away. And you know, the more while I was gone at that time, I was like, man, I really did like streaming, and I really liked it. And I think I kind of kept holding off for a little while because it was like, is this really viable to do full time? You know, and there's a lot of people out there that are like, yeah, I'm gonna be a big streamer. I'm gonna be like Soda Poppin and Ninja and Shroud right off the bat. And like, I was like, I don't want to be one of those people that is just like, oh, I'm gonna become big and famous. I actually was the opposite. I was like, girl, there's no way you're gonna get like more than 5 people to watch you for the rest of your life. But I really loved it so much, and I had so much fun with it. And I was like, I was at a job that I really hated and didn't like being at. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for this. Like, let's just put all in. Let's do this. And I've never regretted it. I loved it.
And that's fantastic to hear and amazing. And you've obviously been pretty successful because here you are, well, let's say 2.5 years later, and you're doing it still. And day in, day out, you're doing it. You're making it work, which is, I think, amazing. It's fantastic. Now, I do have to ask, though, because you are full-time, does that add a certain layer of pressure behind the streams for you, or do you just still, is it just an enjoyment thing that you love it so much that it's never really been an issue?
So as far as your question, it adds a little bit of pressure off streams, just because, you know, you do think about it. You think about like, you know, kind of the money and where it's coming from. I mean, I still am extremely small, but I've got an incredible community that has made it possible for me to do this. Like, I'm not rolling in it by any means, but I'm so fortunate enough to be able to actually sustain doing this for a long time. And I love doing it. I mean, and there's certain times, you know, like, you know, your bad months, you know, everyone, you know, especially after you've been doing it for a couple of years, you know, like, okay, these 2 months are low, these couple of months start to, you know, usually average out high. So once you start getting into it, that definitely removes a lot of the pressure because you can plan for those. You know, it's like if I have a really, really good month, it's like, all right, we are tucking all that away because once January comes around, I'm going to need that, you know? So it's like you can kind of balance those things out a little bit. But as far as pressure on the stream, no, I'm like one of those people when the camera flicks on, I don't know, Sarah goes away and Presidio TV comes alive and I'm like, let's do this. And I get super hyped. I love everyone on my channel. They're so nice and they're so friendly and they have a really good positive energy. You know, and the more you keep doing it, the better you get. And at streaming, at your overall look and even kind of your routine in the games you play, you know, because a lot of times when you're first starting out, you're like, do I want to play this game? Do I want to do shooters? Do I want to do World of Warcraft? What do I want to do it all? What do I want to do? And so then you kind of, after a while, you start really figuring out what you love to do and what works. And when you can find those two things together, it's so much fun.
Isn't that the truth? Now, I want to touch on something that you were kind of bringing up there. You were saying, you know, when you were first getting started versus now you've established yourself. You're a real streamer now.
I still don't see myself that way.
You know what? The rest of the world does, though. So there you go.
Aww.
Now, do you know, have you ever gone back and watched, for example, old videos? Do you see the difference between, you know, Presidio day one versus you today or like this last week or whenever in the future to come as well? Have you seen the growth?
Actually, it's funny you say that. I don't do a whole lot of YouTube, but when the Twitch affiliate program came out, I actually went back. I recorded every single stream I've ever done to date.
Okay.
And so I went back when the affiliate program came out, and it wasn't as planned or as clean as I wanted it to, but I basically just poured through all of my videos and made this little like, we got a sub button, like then to now type of deal, and even had like our first sub in it and stuff. So when I put those together, it's honestly like looking at pictures of yourself when you were like in 6th, 7th grade. You're just like, oh God, it's so embarrassing. Why was I let out of the house in those overalls? But you're like leaving the house in yellow overalls and cowboy boots. That's basically what it was like.
That's
for
not
me.
what people wear these days? What? Sorry, I'll take my yellow overalls off then. Hold on, they're just underneath my shirt right now.
So looking through it back then, it was really embarrassing, but it's actually the most latest video on my YouTube, which is PresidioTV. But it's embarrassing, it's mortifying, it's so bad. But I actually did like essentially a speed video that shows like right when we first started streaming and all of the different changes it made. I mean, it didn't get anywhere near here quickly, and there was a lot of, there's your little baby phase where you have nothing on your screen, and then there's the phase where you start to grow up and you're like, hey, let's try out some stuff, and you put things on your screen and you're like, why God did you do that? and then you actually start to look like a grown up, maybe, although I'm sure, in a few years from now I'm gonna look back at this and be like, girl,
yeah,
thinking?
How did you think you were a grown up at that point? This is ridiculous. Listen, I'm putting all of these shows. You can imagine, 5 years from now when I'm looking at these and going, oh, what was I thinking? What was I doing? What was that hair? What was I didn't shave all this off. Anyways, but I do know what you mean, and that makes a lot of sense. Now, I do want to talk as well about, because we said, you've been here for even a little longer than myself, and I feel like I'm getting to be kind of a veteran here on Twitch myself. Have you noticed, you mentioned the affiliate program, but any other big changes, or is that the biggest change that you've noticed, say 3 years ago versus now, as far as Twitch goes?
As far as Twitch goes, the affiliate program is massive. And all of their little programs that they're doing as far as with Prime, with the affiliates, the really cool discounts that they do during certain times on bit promotions, sub promotions, when they were doing the half off subs. Things like that are really, really, really cool. I almost cussed there.
Uh-oh. Censors, get ready. Get our censorship ready.
I have the mouth of a sailor. I'm trying to keep it under control. But so it's, that all those things are really cool. And what it really shows is like, they really do care about their whole community, and even the small people, which there's a lot of other platforms out there that clearly don't. And, obviously, of course, they love their big content creators, and that's what keeps them going. But like, they want to still keep creating those big content creators, so they're putting a lot of tools, a lot of resources between the affiliate program, these specials, their dashboard that they're ever changing and improving so that you can use the analytics is really, really cool, and honestly shows that they care, and it's extremely helpful. As far as outside of Twitch, there are so many resources now to streaming. Just through like Stream Elements, Streamlabs, different features outside of those two things that you can put on your streams. I actually do really want to shout out Capamon. They are really, really, really cool. Highly suggest looking into them. I've worked with them before too. And it's like, I look at all of these new things and it's like, on one hand, I'm excited because I get all these new things now. And then on the other hand, I get very old lady about it. And I'm like, back in my day, we didn't have these cool things to use.
You're yelling at the new Twitch streamers to get off your lawn. And
there's new people coming out and they have all these like fancy things. And going back to when you look at your old streams, I'm looking at like my old pleb, just poor excuse of a stream. And then I'm looking at all these new people with all these bells and whistles. I'm like, man, you don't even know.
Yeah, you just don't even know. I absolutely
but it is
love
really
it.
Cool.
It is, and I think something you said that really hit the nail on the head is that Twitch is doing so much and releasing so much and so many extensions as well on top of that are really trying to help out the community. And whether that means you're a brand new streamer starting today, whether you've been streaming for 3 years now, or whether you have 15,000 viewers concurrently or you have one, they're trying to help out everyone a little bit, which is a really fantastic thing to be able to say for a site that's as large as this has become.
Well, and what's so awesome about it is it gives you a sense of job security too, because they're not just saying like, okay, this is out there, we're done with it, we're going to focus our energies and efforts on something else. Because now that they are owned by Amazon, it's like they actually are still continuously trying to make the platform grow and be better and bigger than ever before. I mean, even something little like they used to have the Pulse feed and the little update feed. I never used that. I kind of hated it. But they've noticed that, and they looked at how many people were using it, and they're like, this is clearly isn't working. And also the email feature that they had within Twitch, they're like, this isn't working. We're getting rid of it, and we're going to come out with something new and cooler. And I love it when companies do that, because they're like, yes, care. I care. Yes, let's do this.
That's perfect. I think an awesome answer as well. Now, we gotta touch base on another part of your stream, and I know that you already talked about like looking back into the future back to the future. Wow, somebody's
Back into the future.
Can you tell it's late for me too, Presidio? Looked back into the past and now looking forward to the future. No, but you have some pretty amazing graphics on your channel, and I understand that you're the person who creates them.
That is a double-sided deal there, because like I said, we looked back and I have always created everything. I created all of my own panels, all of my own overlays. And so the only thing I don't create is my emotes. I'm horrible at drawing, but everything else, I do the panels, do the overlays. I did do a little bit of YouTube for a while. I used to do all the video editing, the intros, all the stuff for that too. Awesome. And it's kind of good and bad, because you don't have to pay anyone else for it. You get full control, full access whenever you want to do it, change it, fix it, improve it. You don't have to be on anyone else's schedule and put out any of your own money. So that's really awesome. And you get to do it exactly the way you have it in your mind. The bad part about it is looking back on that video, oh my goodness, I created a lot of doozies. My background is in photography, and so I did a lot of editing, a lot of Photoshop. I worked in the commercial world of photography for a long time, so I had the basic skills of photoshopping. I don't really know a whole lot at all about graphic design and creating the overlays, so that was something I kind of learned as I went. I took what I already knew and my knowledge, and I created a lot of really bad ones for a while, but kept building and building and building to finally get somewhere that I'm pretty happy with and that I'm really digging and enjoying.
Well, and let me go ahead and say it, that everything I see on your stream, at least that I can think of in the recent past, has looked absolutely phenomenal, and I'm extremely jealous that you can do all of that, because I even think you actually did one on stream one time. You were working on something, and I got an opportunity to watch that, and I was like, wow, these are things that I sure can't do. So I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. And and good for you, because this is actually, I was talking with someone on last week's show about kind of learning as they went on stream. And I did something similar with guitar, and I have nothing but respect for people that can do that. So good for you. Good for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, yo.
You're certainly welcome. So we oh man, I have like 17 more things I want to talk about, but we're gonna cut it down to just a couple of them.
I talk a lot, yo.
You and I like to talk, and this is a problem, because there is a time limit. We can only have a 6-hour show, guys. So I just want to go ahead and ask, because again, like I said, you've been around for like I said, even just a little bit longer than myself, and I feel like I've been around for too long. Do you have any advice that you would give Presidio Day One that maybe you didn't listen to back then, but now you're like, oh man, if I only could have known this? Do you have any advice like that, or for any of the new streamers that are currently watching and thinking, geez, I want to be like her, cat ears and all?
I want to say that I have some good, amazing, profound advice, but I kind of don't. I mean, the way that I did go about things taught me the most valuable lessons. I mean, I failed so much, trying with overlays. I've tried different things through streaming. I've tried different types of games. I've tried different types of community interactions. You know, like we talked about this off interview as far as, you know, the mic situation and bringing multiple people on. And
Yes.
do you want everybody? Do you ever want anyone? Do you want some people? How do you even handle that? Like, it can go from just being a chill conversation on your stream with some people to all of a sudden you have more people and more chaos than you know what to do with. But those things definitely back then hurt my channel. But I was so small that I'm kind of glad I made those mistakes back then instead of now. And they taught me so much skills, so many valuable lessons as far as how to handle my channel now. And it's very black and white for my channel now. Like, I've been there, I've learned that lesson. This is how we handle it. This is how we do it. And I can do those things with confidence and professionally with my community now without having any doubts. I mean, and I do get new people that come into my channel. They're like, how do you get started? How do you stream? How do I grow? And it's like, that is kind of just what I say is like, just start with the basics, get your basic equipment, and then go from there and just get your first stream going. And then just start doing it, and you will fail and accept it. It'll be little numbers and there won't be anyone talking, and you'll be like, how do I just talk to myself? And you just do it. You just keep doing it over and over and over, and you just try things, and before you know it, you do learn all the lessons. And everyone's obviously disappointed with that answer because we all want to.
But you know what? No, I think there was great advice wrapped in there, and I think if I was going to summarize what I heard from that, anyways,
oh, my words,
is that, and I'm going to direct this to the audience. I think what Presidio is saying here, everyone, is that it's okay to make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, the only important part is that you grow from it and you learn that, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have done it differently. And that's really all it comes down to.
yes.
Yes. Look at that. We agreed. That's perfect. It's got to be true. Two of us agreed. That's totally 100% real. So I'm going to talk one last thing, and then we're going to wrap it up. And that's because we talked a little bit about this off air as well. And that's trolls. Now, you've had your fair share, I imagine, in the time that you've been streaming. How do you deal with them? What do you find is the best approach?
I mean, at least as far as how I do it, you have like two kinds of trolls. You have people that are, you know, really blatant and really obvious about it. And then you have people that are a little bit more subtle and can kind of creep into your community without you even realizing it, and then they can become a problem down the line. As far as your obvious trolls, I mean, I think everyone kind of knows how to handle it. You either time them out, ban them, or you can try and mess with them back. I mean, which does work sometimes. I've trolled the trolls and they've actually become really awesome viewers and really cool people. So you can do it that way. As far as people that are a little bit more subtle, I mean, you know, you just always gotta keep your guard out, you know? I mean, there's really amazing people and friendships and wonderful opportunities of people to meet through Twitch, but every now and then you get a bad apple that seeps into there, and you just got to protect your channel and protect your brand, you know, and make sure that you're always looking out for that future and that growth, and try to work with people that cause problems, but eventually sometimes you just got to cut ties with them, you know?
And there you go. More words of wisdom from Presidio. Chat. With that, I'm actually going to drop it right here. You can find her on twitch.tv/PresidioTV. It's actually twitch.tv. Is that what I said? I don't even know, guys. This is late for me, everyone. I should be in bed 2 hours ago. Twitch.tv/PresidioTV. You can also find her twitter.com/PresidioTV, as well as Instagram.com/PresidioTV. I love that all your branding's the same, because that made that much easier in theory, except for the part where I made the huge mistake. But we'll ignore that for now. Chat, give it one more time for Presidio.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
I'm so touched that you were here. Guys, stick around. We got lots more show to go. Have you ever wanted to be interviewed by the world's okayest streamer? Well, now's your chance. To be on the show, send an email to bloomerforthewin@gmail.com with your Twitch username and what you stream. Can't wait to have you here. Welcome back to the show, guys. Our next guest, she is the incredibly talented beauty found over on twitch.tv/Tammy_Blackmedia.
This isn't loud enough.
Guys, give it up for TammyBlackMedia. Oh, there we go. There we go. Small technical difficulties on my side. No big deal.
Hey guys. Hi, Bloomer.
Tammy, how the heck are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am stupendous. Thank you so much for being on the show. I already talked to Tammy for a second before we started this, but I'm a little fangirling right now, so I hope I don't make too much of a jerk of myself here. I'm a giant Tammy fan, and you know that.
The feeling is mutual.
Oh, yeah. Hush you. Hush you now. Now, there's so many things I want to talk about, and normally I write down some questions, and I think, oh, what else can I... And with you, I had a full sheet, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like scratching the surface. But let's start with the very basics. Most people probably already have an idea who Tammy is, but Tammy, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you stream.
I stream primarily music here on Twitch. I've done some IRL streaming as well, and a combination of both. So I play guitar and piano and sing songs, usually viewer request driven. So yeah, that's what I do.
That's fantastic, and don't downplay yourself at all here. She plays some songs. She says, well, again, one of the most unbelievably talented people on the entire website. So worth your time to check out. Now, I do have to ask, because musicians, it's a fairly new medium for musicians. How did you find yourself here on Twitch?
Through my friend Sunny.
Okay.
So yeah, you know him.
Yes.
TheRealFelkin. He was the one that told me to start streaming about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Now, so let's start with how did that conversation go? He just said randomly, hey, you should check this out, or what was it?
It was actually, I had just gone full-time playing music, probably for about a month of full-time gigging.
Okay.
And we were having lunch, and I was saying, you know what, I should probably have an online presence. At that point, I had like a private Instagram. I didn't have any really public online private presence. And so I said, oh, I'm going to start making YouTube videos. What do you think? Like, should I try to do one a week or one a day? Like, I could do one a day. And he was just like, no, forget about YouTube. Go, if you're going to put that much time into it, go stream on Twitch. Yeah. And so literally, I think that same day, he gave me a list of equipment that I would need. We went out, I think that day and the next day, to Best Buy and Guitar Center. I took out credit cards at both of those places.
Wow, okay.
And bought all the equipment I needed. And then the day after that, I watched OBS and Twitch tutorials on YouTube for about 12 hours and set everything up. And then the next day I went live and just kept going.
That's incredibly fast. And I mean, good for you, because the rest is history. And you went from somebody who, just brand new getting started to what your channel has become today, what your community has become today. And it's amazing. It's phenomenal. And it's rapidly growing, which is so cool to see. Now, I do want to ask about Sunny, because you brought him up, and Sunny's a great guy. Now, how did you get to know Sunny? How did you get involved with Black Media and the Black Media family?
So I was in a pop rock band in high school with Jake. And so Jake Black Media is his handle on Twitch. Him and Sunny work together on all the Black Media projects. So I'm trying to think how it first started. Jake knew me from middle school. He thought I was a big weirdo. I think he kind of avoided me until high school. And then I had played in like punk rock bands and stuff, and he played in metal bands. And then somehow he found out that I played acoustic guitar and wrote songs, and he really wanted to try making a pop band.
Okay.
So we started more like a pop rock band. And one day, Sunny started showing up to our rehearsals, and I wasn't really sure who he was. I knew he was a family friend of Jake's, but he never really said much and didn't really play any music for us at the beginning. And then one day, he sat down at the keyboard and just mesmerized me. And I was just like, who is this guy that's been here? Like, what is going on? And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm a music producer, and I work with artists, and I work in Thailand. They ended up moving to Thailand for a few years while I was in college.
Okay. And
working with artists in Thailand and doing music production and all sorts of insane, making movies, all sorts of different media projects. So that's how I first met him, through Jake.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. And you're not kidding. I've heard Sunny go ham on the keyboard, as well as hit some vocal cords himself. And holy smokes, that guy he's unbelievable. He's amazing. Now, you said you started off in band sort of stuff, but now you're going solo.
Yeah.
Now, how did that transition? Was that just a natural progression or conscious decision? How do you decide to do that?
A bit economical decision. I don't think I'd be able to support myself if I had a band.
Okay.
So I love playing with a band. I love playing with them for some of our bigger private event gigs. If they need a full band, we'll play together and we'll work on songs together and switch off vocal parts with Sunny and then have the whole band behind us. And then at church, I play with a full band and I love it. I love playing to a click and playing with drums and playing a track. And I love that. But as a job, gigging and streaming wise, it's a lot easier to be just one person.
Absolutely. Now, I do have to talk a little bit about this too, because I find even me, I've watched your stream since, I mean, gosh, you probably were only streaming for at least a couple months when I first found you. But I'm
less than a month.
Yeah, so there you go. But I'm still constantly surprised to find new things out about you. So for those that are watching at home that maybe aren't sure, maybe just quick run through of what you play as far as, I mean, I know you do guitar and obviously singing. What other things can you bang out a tune on?
I play piano and flute. Those are the other ones.
Those are the other ones? Awesome. And I'm trying to remember what you were playing. I caught you doing some flute the other day on your stream actually, and I remember just thinking that it was all sorts of hilarious, and chat was just going to town, and it was such a cool experience. And I guess that's the one where you can't sing along with it, but which is always a shame, of course. But still, it's so neat to watch your variety in what you do. It's just I'm blown away. Now, going back to the actual Twitch portion of this, though. Granted, you are extremely talented and you are a phenomenal person, very enjoyable person to just hang out and talk with. But there's been a lot more to that with your growth and your success than just those two things. You also do a phenomenal job of networking and really selling yourself. Maybe you could just give some hints, some tricks, anything you've got for any of the people at home that are currently watching. Just guidelines on how you were so successful and what you would pass on to them.
I genuinely like a lot of people and I find it fascinating. And I think coming into Twitch, it was a whole nother world and it was a bit of a subculture. And I've always gravitated towards kind of non-mainstream subcultures in my life. I'm not really sure why. I don't know the psychology behind it, but I grew up like in the punk rock hardcore scene when I was younger. And then, and I skateboarded in high school. That was what I did a lot. And that's kind of a bit of a subculture, like where it doesn't really follow the societal norms of what people hang out. It's just like very diverse, but you have this shared passion. And I found Twitch to be kind of similar to that. And I was really interested in it. And I was really intrigued by gaming culture and different games. And when I get interested in something, I just deep dive into it and like, I love it. So when certain people would host me, a lot of it was from people hosting me. Yeah. I would be curious about them and then I would start watching their channel and then getting really into the games that they were playing or trying to play the games that they were playing and getting to know them as people and people from different countries. I'd be so fascinated with the culture. Yeah. So I think it just comes from a curiosity about people who are different from me and wanting to get to know them and seeing a lot of good and cool things in them.
And you know, it's funny, it's not a word you use, but it's something I see it on your face and how you speak when you're talking about this, and it's passion. It really shows that you have the passion, the drive that's required to be successful in this in a very competitive area of Twitch. So again, I just think that's phenomenal and speaks for who you are and why you are so successful. Now,
I've never looked at it as networking, and I've never looked at it as like a technique for growth.
Yeah, well, and again, that's the passion, and it's genuine enjoyment. And I think that's where a lot of people on Twitch do get confused. They forget that the people that are often as successful as yourself and beyond, it's because they enjoy it so much. It's never exactly what you said. It's never, oh, I've got to go network. I've got to go do. It's, I'm going to go and enjoy hanging out in my friend's channel.
Yeah.
And that really makes it not only enjoyable, but
And I'm so curious. Another thing that I love is bringing different communities together.
yeah.
That just brings me so much joy. I love it when, especially groups that you wouldn't expect to really get along or understand each other, when they start to mesh and start to get to know each other on a personal level.
Yeah.
That just, it makes my heart sing. I love that. So I love crossover communities, and I can like kind of watch that happening and watch people open up to each other that may have been kind of guarded before. So I like facilitating that if possible.
So cool. So cool. Now let's shift gears for just another second. I have to talk about her because I just love her. I think she's such a sweetheart. She's cute as can be. And that's your mom. What a smooth intro that was, eh?
I know, like who are we talking about right now?
But no, your mom. She's appeared on stream a couple times now.
She has, yeah, and she's always reading chat. She's always watching. I haven't let her make an account herself.
Oh, okay.
Because I know she'd get into chat, and she is a grade A troll. Like I can't let her get into chat, but she does read it, and she does call me and talk to me about specific people in chat.
Okay.
After every stream, she's like, "Oh, did you hear what Dotsa said, or did you hear what did you hear what Lopar said? Oh, that was so funny." Or, "Oh my gosh, who was that one person saying that disgusting stuff?" And I'm like, "Mom, don't worry about it."
No, that's so cool though that your mom is so supportive, and that she's from a generation that not many of them necessarily spend a lot of time on Twitch. So I think that's really cool that she's getting actively involved and that she understands it. Now, would you say, like, has she been supportive from the get-go, or what would you say as far as your mom there?
My parents were very worried about me pursuing music as a career, especially coming from pretty much the most secure job that you could have,
Yes.
which is accounting and finance. Like, coming from that background and then going to one of the least secure professions, my parents weren't stoked on that, but now they are supportive, and it's all good now.
Well, that's fantastic. And obviously, again, they've been able to see your success, and I'm sure that helps a little bit when they're saying, okay, you know what, maybe she did make a good decision. Plus, I imagine you're probably a lot happier now being a musician. Yes.
Absolutely.
Which is all sorts of fantastic. I do want to bring up one more thing, and that's that you've recently released your first single.
Yes, I have, and it's very Twitch centric.
Yes.
It was written about developing feelings for somebody on Twitch, watching them, like, watching a stream and being like very surprised by actually feeling things, like, whoa, why am I feeling these real life emotions about somebody I've not met? And then it was recorded, produced, and mixed by Max from The Luck Music. So that's another friend that I made on Twitch.
Absolutely.
And and the music video is made up purely of Twitch footage put together. So it's like a very, very much Twitch-centric song.
It is. And I always like to joke that I always say, like, guys, I'm pretty sure it was written about me, but don't make Tammy feel nervous about that. Oh, my goodness. I knew it. Sorry. Lol. That being said, guys, I think we're going to be so lucky as after we come back from commercial break, Tammy, you're actually going to share with us that new music video, correct?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm beyond excited, chat. I know you guys are too. Before we run away, though, I'm going to just shout out about 12 different things here. You can find Tammy on twitch.tv/Tammy_Blackmedia. You can also find her on Instagram with Tammy. Is there an underscore or TammyBlackMedia?
That one has an underscore too.
Underscore as well. Tammy_Blackmedia. Twitter, Tammy Byerly, as well as YouTube.com, Tammy Byerly. You can also find her song Be There in 5 on Spotify. Chat, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with more Tammy. Have you ever wanted to advertise your stream and or product on the world's okayest talk show? Well, now's your chance. To put an ad on the show, send an email with your 15 to 30 second ad to bloomerforthewin@gmail.com with your Twitch username and what you do. Welcome back to the show, guys. You've already met our musical guest tonight, Tammy will be performing for us her very own original hit, Be There in 5. Check it out.
I need to be alone. I need to find myself, be comfortable in my own skin before I can love someone else. That's what I told him, that's what I believed, but when it's right, it's right. And what if I found that already? In the unlikeliest of places, in the dark of my room, behind the buzz and clicks, I can feel you. What if this was meant to be, written in the stars for you and me? Or we could fall apart at the seams and float upon a meeting like this was all nothing. And I'm so surprised. What are these butterflies? Give me the word and I'll make that drive. I'll be there in 5. What if we had met while I was in LA? Could we have something today? Or pass on the street and never knew that we loved all the same rocket summer tunes? And what if this was meant to be, written in the stars for you and me? Or we could fall apart at the seams and float upon a meeting like this was all nothing. And I'm so surprised. What are these butterflies? Give me the word and I'll make that drive. I'll be there in 5. What if this is meant to be, written in the stars for you and me? Or we could fall apart at the seams and float upon meeting like this was.
Absolutely amazing, incredible, and phenomenal. Guys, remember you can find her at twitch.tv/Tammy_BlackMedia. You can also find her on Twitter at Tammy Byerly. Instagram is TammyBlackMedia, as well as YouTube, Tammy Byerly. You can also find her on Spotify as well as iTunes. Guys, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank once again all 3 of our guests for showing up today, for being on the show. It is greatly appreciated. And of course to you for watching, for hanging out with me, and for putting up with my terrible jokes and ridiculous hair. Guys, be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Keep your stick on the ice. And I will see you all real soon. Bye-bye.